If you don't already know about the Kooleen situation, I'll give you a brief summary before going into her apology. Kooleen is currently under a lot of fire right now for her satire-like tutorials going a little too far and offending a great deal of people. In one of her roasting videos, where viewers ask her to roast their art, she shows this diagram
to make sure that everything below the nose doesn't exceed.
In her apology post on Instagram, she admits to being ignorant on the subject. However, she doesn't address the main issue, which all lies in this clip right here.
She looking kinda goofy, so let me give you some #valid criticism. As a general rule, just don't let the chin exceed the nose. Imagine that this is the skull, and this is where the eye should be, a bit closer to the side. It helps to draw a diagonal line like this to serve as a guide. And now I'm simply gonna liquefy, and then the eyebrows just copy paste, and there we go. Yassify before and after.
While I believe her apology of her ignorance is genuine, she doesn't address the main reason people are so upset right now. And that reason is because she quote-unquote fixed a portrait that had the proportions she didn't really deem as correct. Using the liquefy tool, she sort of disregards the ethnic features of the character and recedes elements of the face to fit a more anime style, but overall a more European beauty standard. Every race has features that make them unique, and even more so, every individual has distinctive characteristics. You wouldn't quote-unquote fix a monolid eye, and you wouldn't flatten a character's aquiline nose. So why would you change the very features that make this specific character distinctive? What makes this situation a bit more uncomfortable is that the artist probably used a reference for their art, meaning that she essentially disregarded the real features and proportions of a person and yassified them to fit a standardized template of what she considers to be correct. This is all to say that while I believe her apology is genuine, it just doesn't address the latter part of the issue, which is really the core of the problem. I think it's fair to say that we all make mistakes and sometimes we'll say something without thinking twice, but at the end of the day, when you post educational, tutorial-like content, you should probably think twice about the language you're using, and you should definitely educate yourself on the different facial features and proportions there are out in the world when you are critiquing artwork that has those different facial structures in it. I can understand Kooleen being ignorant on her wording and it coming off as offensive when she didn't think of it in that way at all. But even if you do not consume much Western content, you know that there are different races and different facial structures, different noses, different eyes, different bodies out in the world. And if you are going to be critiquing someone's artwork, you have to be educated on what you're trying to quote-unquote fix. I don't think Kooleen meant anything malicious, and it really does just lie in ignorance. I have personally watched a lot of tutorials on YouTube, and whenever I'm watching a how-to video on drawing faces or even bodies, from what I've experienced, the YouTubers always make sure to clarify that there are multiple ways you can draw the face. There are multiple different eyes, there are multiple different noses, there are multiple different head shapes and sizes. And they'll give you a fundamental base to go off of, but they make it very clear that it is subject to change person by person. And when Kooleen is fixing and critiquing and roasting these artworks. In some cases, like this very specific one where she's critiquing a facial structure that is naturally correct, but she's trying to warp it to a different template, you're not giving off a very good message to that artist. All in all, at the end of the day, I think it's very important to think before you speak and to be educated on what you're teaching. And if you're not educated, maybe do some research and actually try to understand the subject. But like I said, certain characters have these natural, distinctive ethnic features, and you can't just disregard that. That's really all I have for this video. I just saw her apology on Instagram and thought it was a little lackluster in that it didn't really cover the core issue. I noticed there was a lot of people in the comments of her apology that were kind of upset that she decided to do the whole notepad apology. Some of them felt like a video response would have been more appropriate. I don't really have an opinion on it, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful morning, day, or night, wherever you may be. And peace.